Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Shut Up.
Keep going. Keep going. Sorry, I was doing the K version. Keep going.
Keep going. The podcast where we explore our internet curiosities. Just mixing things up this week. And I thought I'd give Sid a little break.
Ooh, PU.
Start us off. Now I immediately feel like I'm talking too much. This is how you feel every week.
Yeah.
Oh, great. But we're kind of continuing on with our trend of doing one topic a week, see how that feels. That was a correct sentence. For some reason,
that's a real sentence.
Do you ever say something and you're like, I don't know if that was
all the time.
Okay.
All the time.
Yeah, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you hate it.
Especially if you hate it,
we
actually.
We love constructive feedback.
Mm-hmm.
We're creatives. We strive on improvement and critique.
Mm-hmm. Is that a creatives thing?
It might just be a human thing.
Oh.
I just feel like, my creative life is like full of feedback.
Yeah. No, totally.
I think it's a big part of.
I think it's a big part of creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh, I never thought about it that way.
Because art school, like that's all it was like critique. You just show up and they would critique you. They'd be like, hate. You're a 5. You're a 7. She's a 10.
Have you heard of the LA, like the LA 10?
No, what is that?
How like the scale for rating people on their looks and aesthetics is like if you're like a Minnesota 10, you're like an LA 4.
I'm probably like a Minnesota 3. So it's like an
Stop
LA
it.
1.
Stop. But I learned about it a little bit ago, but I just thought it was interesting that one, I was like, who's making this up? And two, I was like, that's really interesting that like, I guess it's a per city scale.
Well, okay. I have to say I agree. And not because I think LA is better, but I do think because of the industries that we have here, people come that
are trying to be in industries where what you look like is really important.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I would agree.
Because I have to say, I was in New York last month and I was like, there's a lot more interesting looking people here.
Everyone in LA looks it's like a template of like 4 different things.
I kind of like it more.
Like 4 different
looks.
Like
the New York version. It was like better to be out.
Interesting. I think it also depends like what area of LA you're in.
Yeah, I mean like where I live, it doesn't.
Like if you're in like Beverly Hills, it's like everybody looks the same.
Yeah.
Or like West Hollywood or Hollywood. Well, not West Hollywood. Well, West Hollywood. Okay. Anyways.
Well, speaking of West Hollywood.
Really?
Wait.
What?
Oh no. Oh my God. I thought every week
drama.
I like thought I would delete my thing. Not speaking of West Hollywood. Speaking of Salt Lake City.
Oh.
An LA 10 is a Salt Lake City 7?
Sure.
I don't know.
No, it'd be the other way around. In the convention, that nomenclature that I was talking about, the whole point is that it's like everybody's hot in LA, so like the bar is higher.
Salt Lake City 10 is like an LA 6.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. Well, remains to be seen. I don't know.
Wait, are you doing Mormonism?
I am doing something related to Mormonism.
No way.
Well, it's a story about Mormonism.
Wow, we really were on like the same.
I know.
Have you seen the Book of Mormon?
No.
It's really fucking funny.
Is it?
It's really funny.
My
like,
dad loves it.
Cackling. I've seen it a few times. And Alex doesn't really like musicals. And he was like, damn.
Is the song like Little Book of Mormon? No, that's Little Shop of Horrors.
I can't remember how the song
I just know
goes.
They're like jumping.
They jump a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we were watching Hamilton, the one
on Disney Plus,
I just kept going like this because I just wanted him to do that the whole time. And every time he did it, I would cheer really loud.
Like the silhouette of the poster.
Because remember like the TV commercial for it? It would be the figure would walk out and do that. Yep. And for some reason, like, is there a psychological term for a thing that you see that you like watching, but it also disturbs you?
I'm sure there is.
Like, Yeah, I feel like I've had that my whole life. Like the Cats commercial growing up for the theater production
Oh
of
my
Cats.
gosh.
I used to like
I see that so vividly.
be like I hated it, but I would like always watch it when it came on.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like a morbid
interesting.
curiosity, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because that's like there was now that's what I call, I think, love songs.
Yeah,
And for some reason, I hate the sound of those songs. It's a very like
yeah,
palpable for me
Yeah.
feeling. Like it's like a texture almost of the music of love songs specifically. And I hate it. It like makes me feel disgusting. But it was like when the commercial would come on, I like couldn't do it. I felt so helpless to it.
yeah.
Like it reminds me of like it makes me feel like popcorn ceilings when I listen to the like.
Okay, is that synesthesia?
Is that?
Okay, because I had that with watching. I said this on our last episode, but I watched Suicide Squad, the
Mhm.
original one, and I had this insane feeling that the movie was the equivalent of like a gas station convenience store. Like it has the same
Oh, I get that. I could see it.
energy.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but I said that and I was watching it with people and everyone was like screaming and they're like, what is that? Like, that's so true.
Yeah. It's like the energy. Yeah, I don't know.
But popcorn ceilings, I get it. Like, I get the relation.
It like feels like it. Like it's
Yeah.
weird. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. Well, something hard to explain is this story.
It's a good segue.
Thank you. Okay. So I don't want to say I don't want to give a headline because
Alright,
I want a sense of mystery at the beginning.
Okay.
Okay. So on October 15th, Scorpio season. Sorry.
How do you know when all of this stuff is?
I don't know. I consume too much, like,
Do you believe in astrology?
only because I love Pisces. I like how Pisces are portrayed.
I wonder if it's just because we're Pisces and so we're like, I
feel
love
very
this.
seen by it.
I do too. So I had a friend over last night and he was reading, he was like, oh, this like girl that he was seeing showed him cosine.
Okay.
And so he was like, I'm going to read out the Pisces one and tell me what you think. And I'd say like 99% of everything you read,
You're
I was like,
that hits.
but what I don't understand, and maybe you know more than I do. I'm not very well versed in astrology. So you're telling me that everyone that is born within that 4-week span has the exact same personality?
Yeah, I don't know that.
Like that part to me, I'm just
I know
like,
that there's
what?
there's people that are into this are going to be like screaming right now, but I know that there's also like there's the moon rise, there's other
Your rising sign and
variations.
your like falling sign. I
Yeah,
think.
that I think also have an effect. But the reason I'm like I know people that have birthdays close to mine and I'm like, I don't think so. Caleb's dad, his birthday is very close to mine and we actually are very similar emotionally. And he's a man and like of a different generation and like is a New Yorker.
Do you think
Isn't
though,
that it's kind of a coincidence?
is that just probability though? Think about how many people are born in March.
I don't know. It's probably probability.
But I agree. Like the like everything that I've read about Pisces like definitely resonates with me, which is why I think I have so much confusion around it. And like because what I was taught was that it was like astrology is just like pseudoscience and that they leave the readings like vague enough that anyone can latch onto it if they want to, and they're always pretty positive.
Yeah.
And so my friend, he's a Leo, or he's not a Leo, he's a Cancer. And so he was reading the Cancer one and I was like kind of trying to see if it resonated with me. And I mean, there was some stuff, but it wasn't like the Pisces one, I felt like I was like,
no, there's some that I'm like,
shit.
I don't relate to that at all. And I don't understand.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Okay. Let's get back into it. We're in Scorpio season. It's wait, I actually don't know if it's Scorpio season. I think Scorpio season is November. Yeah, this is incorrect. It's some season.
Right now?
It's Halloween season.
Oh, October. Spooky.
I can't wait for Halloween this year.
I really want to I want to go to a bunch of Halloween parties and make very elaborate dress ups. Can we do a costume together?
Yes. Wait. And do you want to get really into Halloween this year in general?
Yes.
Okay, I'm excited.
Because like I just want to like really, I want to like Like, we're gonna make like YouTube videos of us making like our like I want this to be a process. Like, we are going.
Ooh.
I have a sewing machine now. Like,
Sid.
we're gonna like
Okay.
like
I'm down.
do
I
some, like,
feel
cute
like
coordinated-
Hollywood energy or
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Halloween.
Hollywood.
No, like I want to get like
Similar.
super into
Yeah,
like
okay.
have multiple costumes. Like, get some like hot wigs. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
maybe a bald cap. I don't know. I'm open.
We should be pinheads.
I don't think I could because I wouldn't be able to look at you or myself in the mirror.
That's true. I've actually never seen that movie. It's the funniest visual of all time. Like, it really is. A not funny visual is that on October 15th, 1985, a bomb detonated inside a building in downtown Salt Lake City.
Oh no, we hate that.
Yeah, and it killed
Oh, we really hate that.
Stephen
Oh my gosh.
Christensen, who was a financial advisor who collected historical documents as a hobby.
Was he a Christian? Sin?
He was a Mormonson. And he was sorry.
That was so good. That was good.
He was the intended target of the bomb.
Why didn't they just shoot him?
So, well, we're going to learn. He picked up the package. It also harmed his secretary. I just want to give her some credit.
No, totally.
Because I feel
no,
like sometimes
yeah.
it's like, that is probably a bad injury and that changed your life and no one's talking about it.
Well, and forget the physical injury. That sounds incredibly traumatic.
I know. Can you imagine?
I don't want to.
That's too much of a tangent.
Good self-control.
Thank you. Thank you. So he picked up a package that was addressed to him in front of his office door, and it concealed a pipe bomb. And
What year was this, did you say?
1985.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the bomb was filled with concrete nails, which are like very intense nails. So whoever made it definitely wanted him to be killed. Pretty violent stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And so once the authorities put the bomb back together, they discovered that it was triggered by a mercury switch, which is like that really satisfying like action movie thing where like you have to keep it straight or else if it goes, it's like in Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
The thing if you like it like
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'll try to explain it because this is a verbal podcast. The little puzzle item he has, if you force break it, it like a thing gets burst and it destroys the message. It doesn't matter. Anyways,
Have you ever tried petting your eyebrow?
I do it all the time.
I'm like obsessed with it.
I can't do it though because I have eyebrow gel on because I have no eyebrows.
Oh, really? They look nice.
Thank you. Very natural.
I get mine tinted.
Mine is that they're just very sparse.
Oh, yeah, but if you get them tinted, it like tints the baby hairs.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I just started doing it. I actually don't really like how it looks right when it gets tinted, but after it fades a little bit, it's nice.
There's this. Have you seen like microblading accounts?
Yeah.
I'm literally obsessed because there's this one I found where they're like, right after the procedure, it's too dark and puffy, but they always post right after the procedure, so everyone looks crazy. Like it
like,
looks
don't
like
wait.
a Sharpie, but that's like they're advertising for it, and I'm like, I don't want that. That looks horrible.
Show me what it looks like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, like take a picture of someone after.
Oh, man.
I also get randomly the Instagram algorithm is so weird because I feel like I watch one video that's like bizarre and then I'm like, oh, I would like to see more of this. So I watch another one and then it's like, that's your interest.
Interesting. I don't look at the Explore page at all, so I don't really get to experience the algorithm.
I don't know if it's the Explore. It's probably the Explore page. I always get ones for this like a lash extension artist. But the lash extensions are like this long.
She's pointing to the middle of her forehead.
Like they're like literally.
I've seen people with stuff like
and
that.
I
Like,
am obsessed with them. And there's this one video of this woman on a boat, and she has like really long eyelash extensions, and they're blowing in the wind, so her eyes are like this the whole time. And it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
sometimes, so we were at Disneyland and we went on the roller coaster, and like my eyelashes are like pretty tame.
Yeah.
Like I get them to look natural. But I could feel like while we were going, they were like, oh, they're like flapping in the wind, man. Like they were like dog ears, like you know how they like.
Yeah.
Do you remember that song? Do your ears hang low? Do they wobble to the floor? They shine like a light. Is it platinum? Is it gold?
Yeah.
Can you throw it over your shoulder?
Didn't someone remake that into like a rap song?
Do your chain hang low? Oh, yeah, my chain. 24
going.
inches is how low I let it hang. That's all I remember.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
Thank you.
My like wrist hurts. Where was I? What do you remember last?
The pipe bomb.
The mercury switch.
Yeah.
So they put the bomb back together. Sorry, sometimes I just love the way I use my fingers when I talk. It's very like...
It's like a show.
They put the bomb back together. They discover it was triggered by a mercury switch, meaning that whoever made the bomb must have taken it there, because he had to be very
careful with it.
Like he
didn't send it through
rocked.
the mail.
Yeah, exactly. But then the next explosion went off 2 hours later, killing Kathy Sheets. It was at her home. And it was intended for her husband, J. Gary Sheets, who worked with Christensen at the financial services office.
Interesting. Can I just say, I know this isn't a funny thing or we should be making light of this.
Yeah.
But I do like imagining this person who's probably is feeling really anxious, like, cause it's like he's about to like kill somebody and he has to like walk like really straight. And he's just like, oh, like I can't let it move. Otherwise I'll kill myself. Like, can you imagine? Like, I just like picture this. Yeah. Like how far did he have to walk? And like, what was it like when he was like driving?
That's like slapstick comedy gold.
Yeah.
Like we have to use that in a scene somewhere. Like a guy just like, please.
Or like picture like he's driving and like hits a pothole and he's like oh, but it just like
yeah. Well, actually, literally speaking of, there's another explosion. So the next day, a bomb went off in a parked car in downtown Salt Lake City. The man who was injured was 30-year-old Mark Hofmann. He told the police that he opened the car door and the package was sitting on the driver's seat, but when he opened the door, it fell off and exploded. Fuck.
Wait, how did it get in his car? That's suspicious.
That's pretty suspicious. So he was severely injured in his legs.
Does this one have nails in it too? You haven't mentioned the nails for a while, or only
there
Christensen?
were nails in all of them.
Oh, okay.
I believe there were nails in this.
Is that how they died, or was it on impact? Like, was it like the bomb exploding and they exploded, or was it from like getting pelted with a bunch of nails?
Isn't that how bombs work?
But then why did he include nails? I guess I'm just wondering, like, did the nails kill them or did the bomb
I'm not sure the
explode at them?
specifics of like the violence enacted on them.
I
but-
just was wondering. I feel like
No, I don't know. I mean, I think the nails are just to ensure like if the impact isn't as intense, like there'll be some like intense shrapnel like coming at your face. Violence is so gross. And, like,
overrated.
hate it. I really do. I don't
Have you
like
ever watched
watching
Saw?
violence. I refuse.
I can't do,
like watching that.
Like gore porn. That's like, so that movie that I think we talked about a couple weeks ago, Green Room,
Mm-hmm.
super violent. And I feel like I would love it, not because of violence, but because I've heard it like, it's very tense.
Yeah.
And I just,
I'm writing my next project right now, and I wrote so much violence in it, and I'm like, I don't want to watch that. It's like, what am I doing? Like, I would have to like make that and watch it a lot.
yeah.
But I'm still including it, so
Yeah.
makes
No,
a story.
you know, sometimes you just got to do that. That's like when I was at BuzzFeed, I did this video on like a horror game. I hate playing horror games. And I forgot that. So I was just kind of like, okay, it's like 30 minutes. I'm just going to play it for 30 minutes. That's
Yeah.
it. And then I'm done. But I forgot that I was editing it. And so I had to like relive it for like the whole, like however long it took me to edit it. And it was just, I had so much anxiety that entire, even though I knew it was going to happen, just like being surrounded by it was like so heavy for me. It was,
I have to say, like, scary video games are worse than scary movies. Am I right?
yes, because I think that like, I actually just played the other day with my friend Steven and he was controlling it and I was just listening and like it was scary, but I feel like when you're in control and it's like, oh shit, I need to run. Like it feels so much more like you're in it versus watching it happen to somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, my example is like probably not actually a scary video game, but I had a Sims on PSP.
Uh-huh.
That was like a Sim. It was like Sim Suburbs, and there were ghosts.
So fun. I love the Sims
the
RPGs.
ghosts come out and scare you. And
Yeah.
I one time, Sydney, was playing it at Wood Ranch.
Wood Ranch.
Wood Ranch slabs. And I was playing it at the table, and one of the ghosts came, and I freaked out and I threw my PSP on the table, and it literally caused like a domino effect with all the drinks because I like violently threw it and I caused a scene at Wood Ranch. Anyways. Well, speaking, I'm gonna stop segueing. Okay, we're back.
No, but your
Mark
segues
Hofmann,
are so good. Okay.
Who opened the door and the package was sitting on his driver's seat. Da 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 da. It opened. He opened his seat. It fell off. Boom. He was severely injured in his legs and had his fingertips blown off, which but those injuries were suspicious.
It didn't stop him from making another bomb though. Or did it?
No, this was the last one.
That's suspicious.
That's pretty suspicious because they looked at like how they like know bomb and like direction and
experts
shit.
and stuff.
And so
yeah.
they were like, oh, his legs and his fingers, it must have either been on his lap or in the center, the console of the car, and he was leaning over and it fell over. So like he had the bomb.
That sounds, wait a minute. That sounds like, wouldn't if that was the case and a bomb exploded while he was in his car, wouldn't the car catch on fire?
I think it wasn't a like A+ bomb.
He didn't do as good of a job.
Yeah. Like freaking lucky. The one that got Steven Christensen really worked, unfortunately. That was a weird way to
I was
put
really
that.
trying to hold it in because it feels really, I don't want to laugh at people's murders, but.
Yeah. Well, so he was like, I'm super innocent. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a lie detector test. And they're like, we will. So they did, and he passed.
I think he was training for it.
What?
I think he was training for the lie detector test. He seems like if you're making bombs and delivering them to people, like you probably also train yourself to
like be good at lie detector tests.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the one thing I forgot to mention that was going to throw you off my tracks a little bit at the beginning was that because the first victim and the second victim were the woman's husband worked at the financial place, they thought it was mob related because it was
the mob.
It was
they
like
were
a
doing
mob vibe.
Interesting. Okay.
But now they don't think that because they're like, this guy has weird injuries. Anyways.
Suspicious. Okay.
So he passes the lie detector test. The police are like, you did it. Like, we just know in our souls.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about him. Mark Hofmann. I
went to school with a girl whose last name is Hoffman. Do you think they're related?
I did too. Probably. Is she Mormon?
No.
Oh, okay.
Is yours?
No, I think it's the same person.
Oh.
We went to school together.
Oh, shit.
It's also spelled differently. It's
Okay.
Hofmann.
Okay.
German must be.
Hoffman.
So Mark Hofmann was born in 1954 in Salt Lake City. He was raised in a strict the Church of Latter-day Saints. That's what I wrote. But that's not correct. He was raised in a strict household that were Mormons.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a mediocre student, but later tested to have an IQ of 169.
What's the highest?
That's like the highest.
It's a high IQ.
140 is like you're a genius. So that's like
he's up there.
I think I am. I might have read that wrong. It was for my ADHD report. I kind of was really nervous to get my IQ back.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, I was very excited about it.
I mean, I get it.
So, okay, so he 1954, year before my dad was born. So, for context, he collected coins as a teenager, but forged a rare mint mark on a dime and was told by an organizer of a coin collector. Let me run that back. He collected coins as a teenager, and he forged a rare mint mark on a dime and was told by an organization of coin collectors that it was genuine. So he was a very good forger. And that's what we're about to get into. This guy's a very good forger. So, like many young men in the LDS Church, Hofmann did his mission for 2 years. I don't know if you are familiar, audience.
I saw Book of Mormon. So.
She saw Book of Mormon. If you have not or experienced Mormonism in your life, there's this typical thing when you turn 18, you go on a mission for 2 years, and it can be anywhere. He happened to go to Bristol, which doesn't seem that...
Connecticut?
Is there Bristol, Connecticut?
I think so, yeah.
Bristol, England.
Oh, wait. Is it only men? Or is it men and women?
No, I think women can go too now. Okay, I think they used to not.
Now it's like a privilege. Yeah. Got it. Okay.
There's always Mormons in my neighborhood.
I never see that. There's not very many in LA. I've never seen any out here.
Yeah, like you guys could like.
There's lots of people.
Don't come to me. But they're always in my neighborhood, and I'm just always or my parents' neighborhood, and I'm always confused because I feel like there's a lot of Mormons in that neighborhood, and like maybe they should branch out elsewhere.
There's Mormons.
I used to be involved in the Mormon Church slightly.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Well, there was a lot of Mormons in my elementary school because it was across the street from a Mormon stake, as they call it, insider.
I didn't realize that there were a lot of Mormons in that city.
Yeah, there's a lot. And so, I mean, I don't want to shit on the Mormon Church, but in middle school, they would have these dances that were like on Friday nights. And as a middle schooler, you can't really hit the club. Like there's nothing to do on Friday nights. So one of my friends, like she would go all the time and she was like, oh, do you like want to come to the Mormon dances? And I was like, I have nothing going on. I'd love a night on the town. And so I would go, but it was kind of weird because it was definitely like a mating thing. Because like you would go in and you would have to sit in a room and there'd be like a church elder. They're like, here are the rules. Like there's like a dress code. And like, they're like, one of the rules is if a boy asks you to dance, you have to say yes.
Could only boys and girls dance?
Yes.
Ugh, lame.
And then the last rule was have fun. And you would always shout it with them. And then they would have the dance. And it honestly was a lot of fun. The one thing I really remember was that they all smelled weird. Like they all had the same smell, and I was just like,
is it because they're all wearing that underwear?
Not the Mormons, the churches.
Oh.
Oh no.
You didn't specify. I just thought maybe if they always have to wear the underwear, you know what takes.
I didn't really get that up close. Like, when I would get asked,
was there a distance rule?
Yeah, it was like, but I remember like getting like wild at these Mormon dances.
Wow.
Like basically just like throwing myself around.
Yeah, like we did.
But then like, honestly, I was like a very lonely teen. So like when a boy would ask me to dance, it only happened like a few times. I'd be like,
me? Imagine if you would have gotten married to one of them and become like a little Mormon.
My first love was Mormon.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever think you were going to pop out his babies?
No, because I was also in love with John Mayer at the same time.
Oh.
So I like kind of wanted John Mayer more.
Why do Mormon families tend to have so many babies? Are they like Catholic?
It's a
How they
religious
don't?
thing.
But is it because they don't believe in contraception, or they like purposely are trying to like
I
have a bunch of
think-
kids?
I'm not sure about contraception. But a part of the afterlife is that if you have a bigger family, you get a bigger planet. It's like a patriarchal value set, so that each
Interesting.
father gets a bigger planet.
So there's like a direct like reward
yeah, so it's like
for.
pop them out.
I feel like you should give it to the mom if she's the one that has to like have her vagina torn
There
that
was
many
this
times.
sweet Mormon mom named Val. That was my friend's mom. She made the best mac and cheese. And she had 11 children.
No
I just
way.
Could not stop thinking
How?
about her vagina. Like, I'm sorry. I was just like is it, how are you?
I wonder if at that point you just get like the nerves severed.
Because my friend's
Oh my gosh.
oldest sibling was like 45. No, that can't be true. I think they were like 40 when we were like 10.
What? 11 kids.
It's too many.
That's so many. How big was their house? How?
Well, no, because it was such a big age range.
So there was just always kids flowing
that
through,
my
basically.
friend was the youngest person in the family. So she was basically raised like an only child because her older siblings were like way older than her.
Were the 10 all close in age and she was just like later?
A lot of them were vaguely close.
Oh my god.
The coolest thing though was her brother was an animator and he was the lead animator for Teen Titans.
I love Teen Titans.
This is the Cartoon Network show, which I was such a fan of. And for my birthday, she gave me like a drawn Teen Titans.
Like
and
a
I
cell?
cried. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
So love the Mormons. They're very sweet people.
Yeah.
Typically. Anything that's like family, like good family values, I'm like,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
But I guess it didn't work for this guy.
Well, not for him. So he went on his mission, and he came back and he was like on the path towards kind of a good Mormon life. He enrolled in a pre-medical program. Is that what that's called? I don't know. Whatever.
Pre-med.
I said he enrolled in pre-med.
Yeah.
And he got married, had 4 children. Great. But then in 1980, Hofmann claimed that he found a 17th century King James Bible. And it seemed to have been a transcript that Joseph Smith, the founder of Mormonism, who's a big guy for them, probably the biggest guy for them, that Joseph Smith's scribe Martin Harris had presented to a Columbia Classics professor in 1828. And according to this account of this King James Bible that he had, Joseph Smith, according to Mormon scripture, in this Bible, this is a huge deal.
Okay.
In this Bible, Joseph Smith had transcribed unusual Reformed Egyptian characters that were apparently copied from the golden plates that he later transcribed into the Book of Mormon. So he wrote it in his version of the Bible. And then, so let me just, for a second, if you don't understand.
Yeah, I'm a little lost.
Quick history of Mormonism. Very fast. Joseph Smith is the main guy. He claims he went out and found 2 golden tablets that have a bunch of other
But nobody
religious,
could see the golden tablets except for him.
And they were given to him by an angel. I have it written down somewhere.
I learned that from Book of Mormon. That's how I know that.
Moroni. The famous angel. They were given to him by the angel Moroni. He transcribed them through this like apparatus. That's a part of it. And then that became the Book of Mormon. And then that formed the whole religion. So this is a big deal. This is like finding like a relic from the Bible.
Yeah.
For
like the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah. So Hofmann found this And everyone's like, holy shit. And so
Did he actually find it, or he just says he found it?
He
Or
says
is there
he found it.
is there witnesses being like, whoa?
So it was a forgery.
Oh, you
Spoiler.
don't say.
So he constructed his version of this Bible to fit the description from that Columbia Classics professor that was given it. Because I guess I'm a little unclear about this. I think the Bible, Joseph Smith did have a King James Bible, and it was given to a Columbia professor, but the crazy shit in it is like not true. He like made it up.
Got it.
Okay. Did we
Wait,
get
the
that?
Columbia professor made it up, or
Mark Hofmann made up that there
Hofmann.
was these Egyptian characters
Gotcha. This is made
that
up.
have never been found in.
It's
the
made
Golden
up, but
Tablets.
he forged it in there, so
Yes.
it exists, but it's not real.
Yes.
Got it.
And so this was a huge find for the Mormon Church. And at the time, just a quick side note, in the 1980s, the Mormon Church was having a little bit of a tough time with public perception.
Mhm.
And so they were amassing a lot of documents and artifacts from their history. So they were like in active search of documents like this. And so Hoffman found it. He presented it to them. They bought it for $20,000 from him. And that's in the 80s. That's probably a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they like publicly announced that they found this. And this is like a huge thing for a religion to find like a new piece of
source material.
So then Hoffman, after the sale, permanently dropped out of school and went into the business of it as a dealer in rare books. And so why am I out of breath?
It's salacious. It's interesting.
So he then fabricated other historically significant documents that were noted among LDS church history buffs for his discoveries of previous unknown materials pertaining to the religion. So he was just like finding all this shit. And I don't know why they weren't like, how are you finding all this? But they weren't. So suspend your disbelief.
Sure, cool.
He later claims that when he went on his mission in England, he lost his faith and was very mad at the church. And so
it was all prank.
What?
It's just a prank. It was just hijinks.
It's his was, quote, the desire to embarrass the church by undermining church history.
Man, that's like a long con.
It's a very long con. So it's like not even a prank. It's just like a vengeance. You know what I mean? It's very intense. So then in 1981, he presented the LDS Church with a document which supposedly provided evidence that Joseph Smith had designated his son, Joseph Smith III, rather than Brigham Young as his successor. And why that is significant is that, I don't know.
They would have to change the name of BYU.
Yes. I was literally going to say that. That's the only reason why I know who Brigham Young is. I know that he's like a close disciple of Joseph Smith, but I don't know much more.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just knew.
I should have looked up more. But why Hoffman did this specifically is because he wanted to prove that the church was mostly interested in buying historical documents so that they could squash any doubt. Basically, like being like proving their dubious nature by like censoring history.
Okay.
But it's like, doesn't totally make sense because it's like, dude, you're making that up. But maybe it's the idea that they are so quick to believe this stuff.
Yeah.
When it's like
that's
not
kind of what I'm
true.
getting. That like they are not like checking like they're not really doing due diligence. They're just like, oh, it's a new thing.
They're like,
look,
oh my God.
It's real.
And he's like, ha ha ha, like I'm making it up. Yeah, I don't know why that was confusing for me at first, but
I don't understand why, like,
I guess I don't understand why. Okay, here's what I don't understand. So he says, he expected the church to, quote, buy the blessing on the spot and bury it. Meaning like he was like, oh, the church is going to suppress this new information. But I'm like, but you made it up. So like, why would they suppress, like, I don't understand that. But regardless, he does not like the church. He's very mad at them.
Got it. We're on the same page.
So, but they didn't buy this document because he was charging too much for it. They were like,
no, it's fine.
Another branch of the Mormon Church that's a little bit more reformed have already apparently claimed that Joseph Smith III was the successor. Like they were like, yeah, we're on board with that, dude. But regardless, he then told the New York Times that he found this article and he was like, I'm going to expose it. Like, so the whole public can see that you guys are censoring shit. So the New York Times posted a headline with the headline. Mormon document raises doubt on succession of church's leaders. And the church was forced to confirm the discovery and publicly present the document that Hofmann had forged. So I don't know.
But at this point, they don't know that it's forged.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's just trying to embarrass them.
Like get them in deep so that when he's like, it's fake.
I think just to show that they're being messy.
Okay.
It's like, you don't know the history of your own church. Like,
losers.
So his ultimate goal with all his forgeries was to create the lost 116 pages of the Book of Mormon, which he was wanting to fill with inconsistencies and errors and then sell them to the church so that they will then censor them. And then, as he had done with this other document, have a copy and then give it to national newspapers and be like, look at, just to basically disprove Mormonism. It's actually like so crazy. And when I was reading about this, like apparently a lot of older people in the church are like very traumatized by this time period because it was like not good for the church.
Oh, I'm sure. I do think it's interesting though, if like what he discovered or found, like what's making him think that they're censoring things. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I don't think that he wouldn't have done this if this feels like it's like a very specific, like he's enacting a very specific revenge. Like almost he realized that something, like they had censored information to him or were actively censoring information and that affected his belief in it. And so now he feels like, well, I'm going to show you that they do censor things.
I guess. So this is a controversial take. And I'm not going to say it's my own belief, but I think it has something to do with the origins of Mormonism in general. The fact that it's like kind of hearsay from this one guy.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's showing that the leaders of I think he's thinking that it shows that the leader of the church are nervous to learn anything more about the religion because it could be on shaky ground. Got it.
Okay. Wow, this is nuts. I forgot about the bomb thing completely until just now.
Yeah. So this one is crazy. So this is the most famous of his forgeries. He never did the Book of Mormon one. That was like his ultimate goal was to do that because that would really like fuck them up. But one that he did that was a big scandal was called the infamous Salamander Letter. And that appeared in 1984. So this is 4 years into his forgery business. So the Salamander Letter presented a version of the recovery of the gold plates, the Joseph Smith's gold plates, that contrasted very intensely with the church-sanctioned version. So, and so the letter suggested that Smith had been practicing money digging through magical practices, and that the angel that appeared to Smith was not the angel Moroni, but was a white salamander.
Okay.
And so this letter was purchased by the church and became public knowledge. But a lot of the scholars from the LDS church asserted that the words white salamander could be reconciled with Smith's version of the angel Moroni because in 1820, the word salamander might also refer to a mythical being thought to be able to live in fire. And that was the angel Moroni came to him like in fire.
Interesting. Okay.
And that being able to live in fire is a good approximation of the description Joseph Smith gave of the angel. So they're like, it's a translation error. Like, it's not
Gotcha.
actually
Okay.
a white salamander.
So they're like explaining it away.
Yeah. But it's interesting because they bought it and they made it public knowledge. And it apparently really rocked the church. Like, it was a big... Because that's like crazy. That's like if something crazy happened with Jesus that were like, oh, Jesus actually like did this thing. And everyone's like, what? And then like you could, because like this was I didn't write exactly what this document, how it proved that it was legit, but apparently it was in some way. Sorry. But anyways, so Hofmann went on to forge signatures and other documents, not even of just the Mormon Church. He had signatures from George Washington, John Adams, John Quincy Adams, Daniel Boone, Andrew Jackson, Mark Twain, John Hancock, Abraham Lincoln, John Milton, Paul Revere. And
did he also forge the Declaration of Independence?
He did not Nicolas Cage our asses, but he did also forge an unknown poem from Emily Dickinson.
Oh, wow. His forgery knows no genders.
I wonder if he like was like, I'm going to get into poetry now. He like was writing poetry and he's like, I'm going to be taken seriously.
Did they say, do you have like the span of time that this is going on?
Yeah, so it's really short amount of time.
Oh, interesting. I thought it'd be like several years.
He started, well, it's 5 years.
Okay, I was thinking more like 10, but okay.
His first, that King James Bible was 1980, and then the bombs happened in 1985.
Okay.
So, So, despite the fact that he was like kind of making a killing selling all these forged documents.
Yeah, wait, did he have like a job or this was his job?
No, this was his job. He was a rare book
income.
dealer. I guess he like claimed, I remember hearing this, that like he like traveled everywhere to like find
these.
This, but apparently he was just like living a very lavish lifestyle because he was making a killing, to the point where he was deeply in debt. Because he also was buying a lot of first editions of books to like get context, I guess, of like to see what it looked like to be able to forge it.
Oh, interesting.
So he was spending
doing his
so
research.
much money.
Okay.
And so he was super in debt. And in an effort to clear his debts, he attempted to broker a sale of the, quote, McClellan collection, which was a extensive group of documents written by an early Mormon apostle who eventually broke with the LDS. And I think this was the idea that like these documents probably like disproved the religion. And so he's like, they'll spend a lot of money like buying this and like destroying it. And he hinted that it would provide unfavorable revelations about the LDS Church. Thing is that he did not have this collection and he had no idea what it looked like. And this actually was like, it's reported that this existed. And so he would actually have to do a lot of research and work into forging this.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he had promised a bunch of documents to other people and owed a bunch of money to people. So he was kind of spiraling.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a great position to be in.
And he spiraled to the point of constructing said bombs that were at the beginning.
Wait, so that was just part of his spiral?
Yeah. So basically, Stephen Christensen was a financial advisor, but he also was involved in the acquisition of these documents within the LDS Church.
Okay.
And so he was on to him.
Oh, interesting. So they were like his critics.
Yeah. So basically what happened, we're actually kind of getting to the end here, is that he was like, he's going to out me. And that can't happen. So he planted the bomb with him. But to like make it cover his tracks, he planted one with the guy's boss. So it looked like it was within the financial organization and not something related to him.
Gotcha. Wow. And that sucks because he like killed the guy's wife. I mean, obviously it's sad that he killed Christensen too, but it's just like
he's a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, geez Louise.
Because that's the thing with like all these murder stories. It's just like there's no other way you can handle this situation than like killing someone. It's never gonna work out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It really isn't. It's not going to work.
So during the bombing investigation, this is when they discovered all of these evidence of forgeries. They like got a warrant for his house and they're like, holy shit, this guy's a master forger. And so they discovered some documents that were claimed to be written by different people. But when they looked at it closely, they all had similar handwriting styles and had been written with a homemade ink that cracked like alligator skin under a microscope, even though authentic period ink did not. Which is like, how did they not know that when they would like authentic? Because they would authenticate everything.
Oh, wow. And nobody noticed before?
Yeah. But something about that I kind of love, which is like, this is kind of a tangent. But there's a thing I love about humans is that everyone has a aura, and everything that they do is all connected to one thing. So like if someone was to handwrite something, like everyone's handwriting looks the same, you can't really escape the way that you write, even if you're trying to forge something. Even in the way that you like take a picture, like I just feel like the way people see the world is so
ingrained.
Imprinted
Yeah.
On everything they do that there's like no escaping it. And I actually think that's kind of beautiful.
I would agree with you.
Good.
I like that.
Well, because I just think of that a lot about like people's writing.
Yeah.
And even like bad writing, I just feel like you can still see the human behind it.
Yeah.
And like, that's why I think anyone can work hard to be creative, because you have your own mark within you.
Beautiful.
My
bravo.
God.
Bravo.
I'm an MFA.
Inspiring.
Maybe I should forge documents. It seems lucrative. So they freaking arrested his ass. And in January 1987, he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of second-degree murder. He ended up pleading out because he was going to get the death penalty.
Ooh.
And also,
what does pleading out mean?
Pleading out means you can take a deal, which is instead of going to trial
and wasting everyone's time,
you say, yeah, I did it, but by the fact that I'm going to not make you take me to trial, like I want a better sentence. So
gotcha.
It usually happens.
I didn't realize there was a word for that.
Yeah. It usually happens when someone could be under the death penalty and they're like, yeah, I did it. Don't kill me.
Gotcha.
Which, I mean, that's Pandora's box. But I was just going to be like, I would want to be killed. Like, if I had to be in prison for my whole life, like, I feel like that would be easier.
Yeah, I don't know which I would prefer, because I also don't want to be in prison for any period of time in my life. Like, put me out of my misery.
No, that's what I mean. I would just take the death penalty.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be like, okay, I'll just do that.
Just gamble a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, and he also was charged for theft by deception, for forging the Salamander Letter, and 1 count of fraud.
Only 1 count.
I know. And in 1988, Hofmann told the Board of Pardons that he thought planting the bomb that killed Kathy Sheets, who was the wife of the guy, was, quote, almost a game. And at the time I made the bomb, my thoughts were that it didn't matter if it was Mrs. Sheets, a child, a dog, whoever. Which is like,
you're a psychopath.
Okay, it's like, you're going to be in, like, do you think that helps you? Like, I don't understand.
I feel like that almost sounds like him, like, explaining away the fact that his plan didn't go, like,
yeah, he was like, I didn't care, it wasn't that guy.
Yeah, like, it's
but
fine
I actually
with
think,
me.
Not to give him any credit, but I think it is to show that purely was like not a decoy,
like
red herring. But it didn't work, dude. You blew up the bomb on yourself, you idiot.
Idiot sandwich.
You fucking idiot.
Wait, did they know who that 3rd bomb was supposed to go to?
No, but I think it was supposed to be another like
Decoy.
yeah. And so obviously the Board of Pardons says that Hoffman had a callous disregard for human life and that he should spend the remainder of his natural life in prison. And so he is. He's still in prison. He's at the Central Utah Correctional Facility.
Wow.
He did attempt suicide in his cell by taking an overdose of antidepressants. He was revived.
Wow, they give you that?
I guess.
Like,
They give you psychiatric medication like that in jail?
I feel like I would have thought that you'd have to be under like doctor supervision. You know what I mean? Like more like in like
Maybe he
like claim insanity sort of a thing.
maybe he did that thing where you take
keep it.
and you know,
Yeah.
you don't actually take it. This is just really depressing, but also like he's a piece of shit. So like I feel like I can say this. So he tried to take an overdose of antidepressants. He was revived, but before he was revived, he spent 12 hours lying on his right arm and blocked his circulation. And so this caused muscle atrophy, meaning that his forging hand was permanently disabled. So you can no longer
Sucks to suck,
forge.
man.
Really sucks to suck. And that's the crazy story of Mark Hofmann.
Wow, that was a real roller coaster.
That was a fucking ride, right? And I do have to
Yeah.
give credit to one of my favorite podcasts, My Favorite Murder. They did this story and I was listening to it and I was like, that's crazy. I want to tell Sydney that story. Because I feel like it's on brand for our podcast too. We love talking
totally.
about some,
Kind
like,
of random
forgeries
weird
and-
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Hardcore parkour. I have this. Okay. So forgery. I can't remember if it was on our podcast, if it was in a dream, or if it was a movie.
I did another forger.
But I have such a visual for it. And it's like the Thomas Crown Affair. That's what it is.
Okay. That's it.
That's it. I figured it out.
What is that? Can you explain?
Is it Thomas Crown Affair? Yeah. So if I'm remembering it correctly, it's like something with a forger, and then like they find out it's this famous forger, and then they find out that it's actually the forger's offspring, and they assume that they're looking for a son the whole time, but it's actually a daughter, and then somebody realizes that like the daughter's older or something, and then they realize that it's actually his daughter, I think. And they thought that he was cheating on her, but it was actually just his daughter because she's really pretty. And then
The
I'm
way
pretty
you're
sure it's
describing
movie.
that is like someone describing their dream.
Because I really can't remember if it's a dream or a movie, but I'm like 90% sure it's that movie. So check it out.
Well, was it a dream or movie or was it a podcast?
You'll never know. Wait, can I add one more thing?
Yeah,
it's a fun thing.
That was a really good closer, though. Can
I
everyone
know.
appreciate
it
that?
was really good. But
Thank
so
you.
I texted you and you didn't respond.
Oh, is that when my phone was buzzing?
No. This was yesterday at 9:05 a.m.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So somebody actually went back and watched My Girl. Because I've talked about it a couple weeks ago.
Did you?
Yeah. You don't remember? It's the person who
every
dies
time
from
we
the
record,
bees.
I black out.
I do too, man.
The bees?
He dies from somebody's allergic to bees. So Massive Cheese said, I saw My Girl as a kid because it was I saw My Girl as a kid because it wait. I think I'm having a stroke. Says, I saw My Girl as a kid because it was my sister's turn to rent a movie. I'd never hated anything more. And I remember when the boy died, I just thought, what a wimp. He was like allergic to bees. So it was the boy that dies, not the girl.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kate. That was lovely.
Thank you for Kate. Thank you for Kate's story time. I meant partaking in Kate's story time.
Yeah. Make sure to let us know if you like this format or not. You can let us know on Instagram. We clearly check the messages. Let us know in the comments of our YouTube video, youtube.com/so shut up, keep going. I'm trying to steal our fans. Shut up, keep going, all one word on Instagram as well. Yeah, this has been another episode.
Thank you.
Every Friday. So see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.